What's the creepiest display of intelligence you've seen by another human? 1. In real life? My sister, hands down, and it's an ongoing thing. You remember that scene in The Matrix where Carrie Ann Moss downloads helicopter flight knowledge into her brain? Watching my sister just go about her daily life is like a never-ending loop of that scene. Dishwasher is broken. 10 literal minutes of YouTube later, she's got it figured out. The what, the how, the why, and it'll be fixed in half an hour if the parts are in stock at Lowe's. Car making a funny noise? Get her on FaceTime, pop the hood, crank the engine, and she's got it located in IDD and estimates from 3 local shops for you to pick from. Random archaeological discovery mentioned in passing on the daily MSN headlines. She read the journal article already. And isn't it interesting how that validates so-and-so's findings from his dig in Chile in the 80s? Bitch, since when do you know about fossils? Crazy, complicated, super esoteric recipe from Thailand she's never tried. I'll bet you $1,000 she'll glance at the recipe twice and whip out a version you could sell in a restaurant. She remembers your coworker's sister's boyfriend's birthday and that he really likes chocolate sprinkles but not rainbow. She can get a feral dog eating out of her hand and get it to let her give it a bath and diagnose what's wrong with its back leg from 10 paces away. Hey sis, do you happen to know anything about welding, how to preserve this old dress I found in great-grandma's attic, what I should do about these weird bugs on my tomato plants? Of course you do. Her bosses at work keep trying to move her up the chain, but she's not interested because it'll cut into her jam-making time or something. But they all come to her first when there's a question or a problem they can't fix, and they listen on the first go. Her husband says he's seen her ask the general manager what flavor of stupid he ate for breakfast this morning and seen him apologize for the error in judgment. She'll tell you she's not that smart. She just has a good memory, but IDK, man. It's terribly handy to have her on my side, but if she ever decides to take over the world, we're all screwed. 2. I worked with someone briefly when I worked for the police. He came to my team to get frontline experience for promotion. He'd been in a secretive investigation unit before coming to us. I'll call him Dave. We went into this area with loads of gang-on-gang violence, and we were enforcing a Section 60 stop for weapons after a nasty murder in the area. We stopped 2 men at the side of the street, and it was immediately obvious they had nothing to do with any of it. We chatted for a bit, and that was it, or so I thought. Dave, being incredibly polite and friendly, said to one of the men, "I think I know you." The man said that he didn't. He'd never been in trouble with the police, never been arrested, never gets in any bother whatsoever. He was in his 30s, this fella. Dave said, "I do know you. Let me have a look at you." The man was good-natured about it, even though I was feeling bloody awkward. "I've never been in any trouble," said the man. Dave looked at him and said, "I believe you haven't. Your dad did, though." He calls the man by his name, his date of birth, his old address, his mom's name and date of birth, and his dad's details, too. Dave says that 22 years previously, he'd attended at the bloke's house when he was a preteen because his parents were arguing and his dad was drunk. His dad was arrested for a minor sleep-it-off breach of the peace. He wasn't a regular criminal or anything like that. Dave had not only recognized the guy, but he'd done it from when he was a child, aged him, and remembered every bloody detail for a minor thing over 20 years previous. No wonder he was in the high-end investigation units. Genius.